For single circuit track lighting using number 14 American wire gauge wire, the maximum allowable length on a 20 amp 120 volt circuit according to the 2002 National Electrical Code is 73 linear feet. For dual circuit track lighting, again using number 14 American wire gauge wire on a 20 amp 120 volt circuit, the maximum allowable length is 36.5 linear feet per circuit. This equates to a total of 73 linear feet for both circuits combined. It is crucial to adhere to these limitations outlined in the 2002 National Electrical Code to ensure safe and compliant electrical installations. Exceeding these lengths can lead to overheating of the conductors, voltage drop, and potentially create a fire hazard. The National Electrical Code provides these guidelines to protect both property and individuals from electrical dangers. When installing track lighting, carefully calculate the length of the track and the associated wiring to stay within the specified limits. Consider the total load in the circuit, not just the length of the track. Each lighting fixture connected to the track contributes to the overall amperage draw. Ensure the combined amperage of all fixtures does not exceed 80% of the circuit breaker's rating, which in this case is 20 amps. This means the maximum allowable load should not exceed 16 amps. To calculate the total load, sum the wattage of each fixture and divide by the voltage, which is 120 volts. This will give you the total amperage. For example, if you have 10 100-watt fixtures, the total wattage is 1000 watts. Dividing 1000 watts by 120 volts gives you 8.33 amps, which is well within the 16 amp limit. However, always double-check the manufacturer's specifications for each fixture to ensure accurate wattage information. If you are using dimmable track lighting, be aware that some dimmers have limitations on the number of fixtures they can control. Consult the dimmer's specifications to ensure compatibility. The 2002 National Electrical Code provides tables and guidelines for wire sizing based on amperage and length of run. Table 310.16, which is often referenced, lists the allowable ampacities of insulated conductors rated up to 2000 volts. However, it's essential to consider voltage drop, especially on longer runs. Voltage drop occurs when the voltage at the end of the circuit is significantly lower than the voltage at the source. This can cause lights to dim, motors to run inefficiently, and other electrical equipment to malfunction. The 2002 National Electrical Code recommends limiting voltage drop to 3% for branch circuits and 5% for feeders. To calculate voltage drop, you can use various online calculators or consult an electrical engineer. The calculation takes into account the wire size, length of run, amperage, and voltage. If the voltage drop exceeds the recommended limits, you may need to increase the wire size to reduce the resistance. When working with electrical wiring, always follow safe practices. Firstly, turn off the power to the circuit at the breaker box before working on any wiring. Secondly, use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and insulated gloves. Thirdly, ensure all connections are made securely and properly insulated. Fourthly, if you are not comfortable working with electrical wiring, hire a qualified electrician. Working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is always best to err on the side of caution. The 2002 National Electrical Code also addresses the spacing of track lighting fixtures. The code requires that fixtures be spaced according to the manufacturer's instructions and that they do not exceed the maximum load rating of the track. Ensure the track is properly supported and securely fastened to the ceiling or wall. Use appropriate mounting hardware for the type of surface you are attaching the track to. If you are installing track lighting in a damp or wet location such as a bathroom or outdoor area, use fixtures that are rated for wet locations. These fixtures are designed to protect against moisture and prevent electrical shock. The 2002 National Electrical Code also specifies requirements for grounding track lighting systems. All metal parts of the track lighting system must be properly grounded to prevent electrical shock. Use a grounding conductor that is the same size as the circuit conductors. Connect the grounding conductor to a grounding terminal in the junction box. The 2002 National Electrical Code is a comprehensive document that covers all aspects of electrical installations. It is updated regularly to reflect new technologies and safety practices. It is essential for electricians and anyone working with electrical wiring to stay up to date on the latest code requirements. To obtain a copy of the 2002 National Electrical Code, you can purchase it from the National Fire Protection Association, also known as NFPA, or from various online retailers. The 2002 National Electrical Code is a valuable resource for ensuring safe and compliant electrical installations. Always consult the code when planning and installing electrical wiring. Failure to comply with the code can result in fines, penalties, and potentially dangerous situations. Remember, the information provided here is based on the 2002 National Electrical Code. Subsequent editions of the National Electrical Code may have different requirements. Always refer to the latest edition of the National Electrical Code for the most up-to-date information. When working with electricity, always prioritize safety. If you are unsure about any aspect of the installation, consult a qualified electrician. Electrical work should only be performed by individuals who are properly trained and experienced. Improper electrical wiring can lead to serious injury or death. In summary, for single circuit track lighting with number 14 American wire gauge wire, 73 linear feet is the maximum allowable length on a 20 amp, 120 volt circuit according to the 2002 National Electrical Code. For dual circuit track lighting with number 14 American wire gauge wire, 36.5 linear feet per circuit, totaling 73 linear feet for both circuits combined, is the maximum. Always adhere to these code requirements and prioritize safety when working with electricity. Remember to consider the total load on the circuit and to limit voltage drop. Consult the 2002 National Electrical Code for complete and detailed information. When selecting track lighting fixtures, consider the type of bulb they use. Light-emitting diode, also known as LED, bulbs are energy efficient and long-lasting. They also produce less heat than incandescent bulbs, which can help to reduce the risk of fire. When installing track lighting, consider the placement of the fixtures. Position the fixtures to provide adequate lighting for the area you are illuminating. Avoid placing fixtures too close to flammable materials such as curtains or furniture. If you are installing track lighting in a commercial building, you may need to comply with additional codes and regulations. Consult your local building department for more information. When selecting wire for track lighting, consider the type of insulation. Thermoplastic high heat resistant nylon, also known as THHN, wire is commonly used for track lighting. It is heat resistant and durable. The 2002 National Electrical Code specifies the types of wire that are approved for use in different applications. Always use wire that is approved for the intended use. When making connections, use wire connectors that are rated for the size and type of wire you are using. Wire connectors should be properly tightened to ensure a secure connection. Loose connections can cause overheating and electrical fires. When installing track lighting, consider the aesthetics of the installation. Choose track lighting fixtures that complement the decor of the room. Consider the color and finish of the fixtures. The 2002 National Electrical Code does not address the aesthetics of electrical installations. However, it is important to consider the overall appearance of the installation. When installing track lighting, consider the accessibility of the fixtures. Make sure the fixtures are easily accessible for maintenance and repairs. Avoid placing fixtures in locations that are difficult to reach. The 2002 National Electrical Code does not address the accessibility of electrical fixtures. However, it is important to consider the long-term maintenance of the installation. When installing track lighting, consider the environmental impact of the installation. Choose energy-efficient fixtures and bulbs. Dispose of old bulbs and fixtures properly. The 2002 National Electrical Code does not specifically address the environmental impact of electrical installations. However, it is important to consider the environmental impact of your choices. In conclusion, track lighting installations require careful planning and execution to ensure safety and compliance with the 2002 National Electrical Code. Adhering to the specified lengths for single and dual circuit tracks, Using appropriate wire sizes and considering factors like voltage drop and total load are paramount. Prioritizing safety and consulting with qualified electricians when needed will help to avoid potential hazards and ensure successful installation. Remember to always consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code for the most current and accurate information.